Good morning, YouTube. That is way too bright. That is going to need correcting immediately. Jesus. Still want a little bit of light coming in. Just want that light to hit my eyes so I can wake up. I'm going to need coffee. Strong coffee. Not just any coffee. Strong shit. So yeah, at the end of this week we'll have been a month into our reverse diet. And things are going pretty well. 172.4 this morning, which is a bit of a clawback. Last week, not gonna lie, there was one weigh-in of about 175 kilo. Not 175 kilo, Jesus Christ. 175 pounds. And I talked about this a little bit on an Instagram post. Just falling back into some degree of bad habit, right? Couple beers with the boys while I'm watching the football, couple drinks with the missus while we go on a date, having an off-plan meal, and instead of it being a sensible one, I've kind of hit the fuck it button and had whatever I want. Snacking with the missus in between. Just all around making decisions that weren't the most conducive to bulking nice and slow. And so, because I'm weighing myself still pretty much every single day, I think it has been every single day so far, I can see that little jump of a increase in weight that we didn't want to see. So I can scale things back, and that information is power. That's the first thing, is that in a bulk, I've never really weighed myself regularly. Not the way that I have in a diet, because obviously in a diet, it's a lot quicker. It's a lot more obvious that you need to do that, or should be doing that if you're someone that wants to guarantee good results. But in a bulk, I've not done it before, so it's a bit of a game changer for me. Not that I want to throw that term around. But as always in this vlog, we're going to go through the day. Today I've got pretty standard routine, pretty standard protocol, check-ins, might shoot a couple more reels. Then I've got the members call where I try and learn how to do this better. We're going to come back, we've got to edit the Instagram content, and then hopefully relax at some point later in the evening. That'd be amazing. Oh, we've also got a lower A today, so we're going to show you the lower A session. I need this coffee to hurry up. I need this coffee. The fuck, man. Bro has lost his mind to this game. He's lost his mind to the game. As I go through the day, like normal, the kind of rough topic that I wanted to talk about today was why I train. What do I keep showing up for? Right, I've been training for, I think it's like 7 years now or something like that, around that figure. It's a long time. Obviously, not all of that time has been super consistent. Not all of that time has been most effective training, but the last 2, 3, probably 4 years, I think it's about 3 to 4 years ago, I did finally make the decision to dedicate myself solely to bodybuilding style training and to really learn and invest myself into that style of training, as opposed to before it was a bit of a hybrid of doing a bit of everything. I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I did powerlifting, was actually what I was doing when I first started getting into training. Obviously I didn't really know how to show a powerlifting plan. I wasn't actually powerlifting, right, by any stretch of the imagination, but that's kind of, I was doing strength-based work. There was a bit of Olympic lifting in there. There's been all kinds of stuff, ultimately. But yeah, so we've been training for a long time, but I would say that at present, I've never been more motivated, never been more consistent, never been more disciplined with things, even though my life, in the sense, the workload, the stress, obviously everything else, I think I've just grown up, right? It's probably the first observation. But it should have been easier to follow a training plan, etc. before, but this is the most consistent I've been. And how is it that now that things are harder, I've been doing it for such a long time and progress is slow, I'm actually the most consistent? How is it that I stay the most motivated? That's what I want to unpack and unravel, because I think staying motivated is something that people really struggle with. I think first and foremost, make progress. If you're making progress and you can see the fruits of your labor, it becomes very easy to actually carry on and be motivated to get up and go to the gym, because you can see the results that it's bringing, right? But I think one thing that a lot of people get wrong, and it's definitely the case for me, and I have touched on this on my Instagram before, and that is that my motivation for training has really nothing to do with, not nothing to do, the biggest factor is not the progress. It's not even close. The biggest motivation for training particularly has a lot more to do with how it makes me feel, how it makes me function, perform. Without it, I'd be a very different person. I live a very different life, and I'll get into that. As I'm no doubt you are very used to seeing if you've been watching these videos, omelette going down. What I've also started to do is actually prep the other meals in the day as well that need prepping or cooking that day. Cream of rice and my post-workout meal. Because what I was doing these at different times throughout the day. Obviously my main meals, the chicken and rice are the things that really need cooking. They get done once a week on a Sunday, so yesterday. At the same time, nice and efficient. But obviously every morning I cook the omelette, and then later in the day I'll prep the cream of rice and get the post-workout meal ready as well. But I just figured, in essence of being efficient, why not just do all of this in roughly the same amount of time in the morning? So as I was saying before, I don't mind the slower start to my morning, or a morning where I do this. When I first wake up, maybe it's more of an issue that I've got to address, but generally I'm more inclined to procrastinate, scroll, I think because I'm tired. I'm not a morning person. Whereas if I get into a very simple task like cooking breakfast, I can get that done, I can be productive. It's something that would have to take place anyway, and then I can get back into work after. Also, I've got a little more going, right? And that's working out for me right now. So just gonna add a little seasoning. Don't leave your food boring. But you're still gonna prep the rice as well. Get this going. Okay, so now we are set up and ready for the day. First meal has gone in. What I'm gonna do now is get into the check-in with the team. Little time lapse on the way. And then yeah, I'll carry on with the conversation on the way down to the gym. I've got a little goofy camera setup that I'm gonna try. It's probably, I think it's gonna look a bit fucking goofy, to be honest with you, but we're gonna try it anyway. See how it looks. I don't even know if the audio is gonna work. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. So time lapse, a few bits and bobs, and we'll get into it.
Probably you should be trying to eradicate anxiety from your content, right? People should know that they are wanting to work with you and it's a premium bespoke service. And B, if they're still coming through, then yeah, you could have
if you want to look at that as next phase, prepare for it, go and get knee braces as you want to need.
I'm just thinking, I don't want to do that, and then it's kind of like this band-aid thing where we do that, and then actually, again, I just have to do a bit more read on it, because I wouldn't want to implement that and then have that be like something that takes away the pain, but still in the background maybe is still aggravating it in some way. I mean, I think obviously pain's your biggest, it's going to be the main signal, so it would just be down to yourself, and obviously you've lived with it for so long now that you'd be sensible and know how it's like, if anything doesn't feel right, you know what that feels like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just something we'll look at. I mean, even if we were to just train hamstrings and calves, right, I think the interesting thing is sort of like, by extension, there'd be like some degree of stimulus going through the quad anyway, like just having it stretched in the same way, like, through the activation of the hamstring. So even if we were to just implement that, and obviously most people, especially for yourself, like with it being like sit down sedentary work as well, most people generally tend to be like anterior muscle dominant, so anything we can do to improve your posterior chain is beneficial anyway, right? So it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. But I think we could definitely implement some calf, some hamstring work, see how you get on with that. And I think even just developing strength in the hamstring can help to stabilise the knee joint anyway as well. But like I say, other than that, we're on a roll. So that's the main thing. That's the right thing. And we're still, I mean, we've got back to time. It's May, isn't it? Like your wedding next year.
Oh yeah.
So we've still
got the aim to get to Christmas and be where we wanted from a body fat perspective.
Yeah.
And we were potentially going to look at a small bulking phase post Christmas.
Yeah.
And then potentially then just trimming down just before the wedding. So we got plenty of time. We're okay.
Yeah.
Time was obviously I'm just where I think we wanted to get to maybe about 78, I think, somewhere around that. So what we're talking at the rate of 1 kg, we're probably only 6 kilo off.
Yeah.
So, if we did that at the same rate, we probably could achieve it by mid-November.
Yeah. Easily
doable.
Even with wiggle room, like end of November, we should be able to get down to that. Even with a bit of wiggle room for life events, potential refeeds that you might need if you start to struggle or whatever it is. So either way, and obviously we'll just see then kind of the rest of December, because we want to obviously plan around December as well, because no doubt you'll have Christmas socials and stuff. So we want to make sure that we, as I've been saying in my content a bit more, we want to earn those fuck around points over Christmas so we can enjoy that, same as this holiday, without kind of having to worry, oh, like I'm not going to have, you know, this on my credit, like that's just ridiculous. Like I want to get to a point where we can easily enjoy that Christmas week, again, do little to no damage, and we're still in a really good spot. So okay, so that is check-ins for the day done. I've also just got off the back of, can you even see me? I don't know what's going on with the lighting. There we go. Off the back of a call with client James, just a little catch up ahead of potential holiday that he's got last minute planned and booked. Something that I was actually just discussing with him, which is really interesting, is he was worried about going on holiday when he's in a diet phase and messing up his progress, right? And I said to him, because the last like 3 weeks we've basically lost about 1 kg a week on average, and we're sitting in a really good position in terms of fat loss. Something that I talk to people about is earning your fuck around points, right? What does this mean? What does earning your fuck around points mean? It means if you are doing the work on a consistent basis, there is periods in life where, guess what? Because you've been making consistent progress up until that point, you don't have to worry about taking a bit of a social off and having an off-plan meal. You don't have to worry about taking a holiday because you've been grafting months before it. I was having a conversation with another client the other day who was struggling a little bit more, so I won't share their name. But it was their anniversary coming up, and they were going to go to like a nice steakhouse and have a lovely meal. And because they haven't quite been the most adherent to the plan of recent, and there's a lot of reasons, you know, obviously without going into details on his position about why he's been struggling to do that. And because he's struggling to see progress and he's feeling this pressure to get things right, he was saying, oh, like I'm gonna not drink, I'm gonna stay on plan, I'm gonna have like a really small meal. I'm like, it's your anniversary with your girlfriend, right? There's absolutely no reason to restrict your eating on that one day for the one meal, provided we graft for the next 2 weeks before we get there, and we graft in between. So you earn fuck around points. I've also got 2 phase updates going out for Reese and Jay, who are basically going into, Reese's just started his diet phase, Jay is finishing the second half of his dieting phase. That should be really exciting. We've laid that out. We're going to be doing their overviews a little bit later tonight. So yeah, now, goofy part of the video. I'm not sure how this next part is going to look. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in there, but it's something a little bit different. So you see what this looks like. So let's see how this looks. Hell yeah. I guess this is like what, third person view? For some of you it's probably going to look like you're watching a video game maybe, I don't know. Oh, this is basically like Samsung car talks, but on a bike. So good evening YouTube. So it's actually a couple of days after I finished that previous video and clip that you would have seen. I realized that I think I did the training day that I was going to show you. I think I did that on a previous autumn bulk episode. So what I want to do is make sure I'm showing different sessions as we go. And this is actually a later session. It is currently 11 p.m. I just finished my shift. The shift was fucking dreadful. It was really busy. There's an offer on at the moment. We had way more bookings than we've been used to for a while. So it was a really busy day, but the work still needs to get done, right? It's my fault because I spent all day editing and got locked into an ADHD-driven editing spiral where I was really trying out a few new editing techniques that I'd learned from the training that I was watching. So the video turned out well. I liked the video, but that was at the expense of now having to train after work. And I didn't realise, this is one of the curveballs, I didn't realise how busy this shift tonight was going to be, but it was a real busy one. But we still have work to do. We have to show up. I'm drinking pre-workout at 11 p.m, which is a big fucking no-no. But the sleep schedule has gone out of whack a little bit as well. It's really hard. That transition into bulking again. When you're dieting, everything is so laser focused and everything is so like, I don't know how to describe it. You feel as though you have more energy, but your focus is more there. Maybe it's because I've been having a little bit more off-plan food than usual. Maybe I need to pull calories back a little bit more. Either way, I'm kind of already getting into that hazy period of the bulk where I'm feeling a bit lazy, which I definitely shouldn't be this early. Granted, Maybe it's the weather changing, whatever it is. You know what? You could come up with a million excuses as to why you're feeling shit. Results don't care if you're feeling shit or if you're feeling good. So guess what? We're still here. We're gonna get through the session and we're gonna perform it to the best of our ability. But we have upper B on the agenda today. Training is going really well at the minute. As expected, as we head out of a diet, strength seems to be climbing very quickly, which is good because I don't think I lost that much strength when I was dieting, really, to be honest. There's some obviously more technical lifts now that I've re-included, like deadlift and bench, which naturally, because I haven't done them for so long, it's gonna take a little bit of time to re-grease the grooves and get more efficient with that movement pattern. But yeah, like strength seems to have maintained through the diet and it seems to be increasing quite quickly now. So I'm very grateful of that. Condition isn't too bad. Again, I really am gonna have to rein in the planned food. It is difficult after dieting for so long. You kind of allow that little bit of flexibility, right? And I'm a person that you give me an inch, I take a mile. So because I can have bad food, I've been having more of it, especially working around food as well. I was literally stood at the end of a bar, eating a steak with my hands with spiked maple sauce. What am I doing here? Absolute Neanderthal behavior. Fucking Jesus. I've evolved today. So we're gonna get into the session. I think I might talk a little bit throughout it. We'll see, because it's a later one. I still need to get over the fear of talking in front of people. It's fine when there's someone else there, but being in a busy gym and having people train around me and talking to a camera is still, so I'll be honest, I'm still a bitch about it. It's still something I've got to work on. But it's working out sometimes to do one of these later sessions, and I do like it, especially as busy as that shift was, right? And this is where your own journey, like sometimes, again, this is one of those days that I was in two minds because I'm tired. I've got a lot I need to do tomorrow. And it's like in one sort of mind that I'm really not feeling the session, I don't want to get into it, but I do also know that I was going to be up anyway because I've got cortisol in my system. It was a busy, stressful shift. So if I can train and get out some of that pent up energy, I'll probably sleep better anyway. And that's what it comes down to. It's just showing up and ticking the boxes consistently. Right, training is an input X output Y equation. And what I mean by that is the results are repeatable. If you do this and you do them correctly, you do them accurately, you are guaranteed to get this result, right? It's not like business, it's not like social media where some people have probably got the science down. I haven't got the science down just yet. I'm still learning. But with training, I understand the science fundamentally, and I know, again, the promise is that I will show up and have a better physique year on year. Which it sounds egotistical to say, but it's part of the thing that I want to do it just to prove it, and my clients as well, show them that yes, this is possible. You can do this year on year out while still having a normal job, while still dealing with everything else that life throws your way, right? So I hope that comes across as relatable and not egotistical, because that's not how I mean for it to come across, because I'm very aware of my inadequacies, right? I'm not the best genetics, I've not got the best work. I think my work ethic isn't bad, it's definitely got better. I'm not most organised, I'm ADHD as esque, right? Not to self-diagnose. But anyway, I think it's time I stopped yapping. Let's see if we can get this session done about midnight. That would be ideal, because I need my bed. That is the end of session. Is that going to be in the way? Let me move this out of the way. There we go, beautiful. So it took a little bit longer than I wanted it to. I think this is why I did switch back to mostly training in the day, because I just had to drag my ass through that, I'm not going to lie. It is 20 past 1. How? Where is that time gone? So post workout going in now. I need to go. I need to make it back to the toilet to not for a shit, although I do kind of need a shit actually, now I think about it. I need some water for this. Oh, fantastic. The rice cake is absolutely obliterated. Ooh, what a day. Jesus. So, let me walk and talk. So, good session. I am, oh my finger's stuck. I am, to be fair, really content with the visuals at the minute and how things are looking. I've definitely put on maybe a little bit more. It's probably just water, like holding a bit of water. I don't think there's that much fat in there, but just from slipping up on food here and there. But there's nothing that we can't fix in a tidy up phase. I think it's always going to be really difficult. Again, not to give excuses, but after dieting for as long as I've dieted, it's going to be difficult not to fucking pig out sometimes, right? Because my hunger is still really high day to day, which is a good thing in a bulk, right? People are so scared of hunger. Hunger in a diet is a good thing because that means you're probably in a calorie deficit. And if you're hungry, whilst your strength is going up and whilst you're putting weight on and you're filling out and you're looking bigger, you've just got loads and loads of room to push. So I wouldn't fear being hungry and just try your best not to cave into those things. But as I was talking about at the start of the video, I just wanted to go into a little bit of deeper personal transparency on why it is that I train, right? I did explain this. The funny little video. Was that super zoomed in? Oh, fantastic. That was probably zoomed right into my face. Let's have a look at this. Fantastic. I forgot how much I zoomed in to get this shot that you see right now. I hope you enjoyed looking at my mustache for a solid minute and a half there. Fantastic. What is it that I train? Obviously, like anybody else, right in the beginning, I wasn't happy with the body that I was in, right? I wasn't happy. I wasn't necessarily depressed. I didn't really suffer too much did suffer with confidence, to be fair. Like around like social anxiety and that sort of thing. And anxiety in general, to be honest, has always been something that I have struggled with on and off. Some of you probably, some of my longer term followers might have seen the occasional video I made about it, but I used to suffer, especially in COVID, when lockdown hit, like panic attacks was something that it got so bad they ended up hospitalised with it. And it was a really challenging time for myself and obviously by extension people around me that saw me in that way, and training saved me from that, right? But getting to the core root of it, training in the beginning, the motivation was to get bigger, get stronger, because I felt weak, I felt small. I was always the kid. I wasn't necessarily, it's not the standard sort of bullied, right? I did have a good group of friends for the most part, but standard spiel of like struggling to fit in and not really having much purpose, right? Because for most of my life, I was pretty good at school. I was always a bit of a class clown, right? I just was a bit autistic. I'd mess around a lot, right? But academics was, I suppose, the main focus, but it was because other people had told me that's what I wanted to, not what I wanted to do, but told me that's what I should do because I showed, right, I was okay at maths, right? I was pretty good at maths, I suppose. I was doing a maths degree before I dropped out to pursue this, right? And it's going great. I'm on my own at the gym at almost 1:30, right? Still working as a waiter. Not there's nothing wrong with that, right? Humble and all that. But we're still trying to make the dream work, right? I think it's getting there. But that's the thing, I'm content. And the reason that I'm content is, yes, I've developed my physique. And yes, the physique looks way better than it did. But the reason that I carry on training is because through training, I have a sense of purpose. I have a sense of meaning, even if it is something as simple as chasing a slightly better physique every year. And through the training, I absolutely love the training, especially like times like this where I can come in when there's nobody else in here and it's just me and the weight, not to get cringe and cliche, right? But I do love that it is just me, the way I can come in here, I can vent out my frustrations, my emotions, right? It's sort of a way to express how I'm feeling. It's a time to, especially these days, because we're so plugged into our phones all the time, it's a time to just spend with yourself, dedicated to yourself. And obviously you do I, for example, do show the physique, but it's also a personal project, right? Throughout my diet, towards the end, I didn't show my physique because I wanted it to be just for me, right? Until the very end. And then it was, I suppose, to demonstrate and show people that what I'm doing is working. But it's a sense of meaning, it's a sense of purpose. Like I say, I was a bit of a party animal, right? Through training and wanting to progress and get better at this. It gives me a good reason to not go and get drunk all the time, right? Which is something that I was doing in my early 20s, late teens. Because if I was to do that, there's no way that I would make as much progress or I would hit plateaus in my training. So it's a good reason to not go and do that, to not live a lifestyle that I don't really want to live. It was an escape ultimately. Training has just given me so much routine, structure, and all of the things that we spoke about. That's why I love it. And obviously a lot of you watching this will probably be into this and along the same lines, but it can be anything really, right? You could be trying to play guitar. You could be trying to be a better runner. Applying yourself to something where there's this endless pursuit of progress is such a good thing. It's so healthy. It's kept me on the straight and narrow. And I'm slowly turning it into a career as well. Because for what it's done for me, obviously I became a coach to get people in shape, but if you were to really ask me, right, you've probably seen a few bits on social media and Instagram, like you've seen this I've got my little stoic brand idea, right, because I was really into stoicism. And you've probably seen this thing called the Stoic Project, right? It's a teaser for something that I'm thinking about trying to make long term, right? But really it's about making life better, helping people that are in need, right? Because there are a lot of avenues out there. Therapy is great. I've never had therapy people around me who I know have had therapy and had really good results from it. But what I see in this day and age is, especially with how crazy the world is getting, with like the rise of AI and all this sort of stuff, the world is becoming like a weird place. It's a disconnected place and we're falling more into like the digital space. So I think something as simple as getting into your physical body and eating better and getting out in nature and all this stuff and living a healthier lifestyle is going to be so important over the next 10, 20 years when things start to get pretty weird. So it's more than just biceps and weights, right? I'm trying to slowly make something that's bigger than that. But I'm rambling now because it's late and I've trained and I need my bed. But thanks for watching. Weekly installments will be here every week for, to be honest, forever. I'm calling this the autumn bulk, but I think I'll probably do this until hopefully the plan is to compete next year, get onto an actual bodybuilding stage and see how we do. Because I said I was going to do it last year. I didn't feel ready. Life wasn't in the right place. My finances wasn't in the right place. Relationships with family and friends wasn't in the right place. But I'm thinking hopefully next year all my ducks should be in a row and I can give it a go with the help of my coach who I worked with for 1 month, and then that will come with time. We're getting there, boys and girls. So if you can relate to any of the things that I've been talking about, maybe getting into this, or again, use any pursuit, but having something that you can anchor to that can again keep you on the straight and narrow, give you a reason to not go out and fuck up your body and fuck up your mind in different ways. If you find something that does that for you, hold on to it. And yes, training, sick. I'm right there with you. Let's continue on this journey, man. All right, peace.